All right, welcome to the Eric J. the Great podcast show. Got a special guest on the show today, R&B artist slash actor, DJ the Singer. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you? How's it going?
It's going all right, man. Just another day in paradise, man.
It's good to be here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So we're gonna start off by playing a little song, and then after that, we'll get into the interview.
All right, sound like a plan.
I've been feeling lonely. Who gon' bust that Glock for me when my eyes be roaming? Who gon' take them shots for me when my guard be open? And I don't want no apologies, I don't need no closure. That's why I'm always loaded, steady city rolling. I just bought a black man back and I took off. I just swung that van back round and knocked them off. I was sipping on that tech, but caught some raw. I put the hood straight on my back, I gave my all. Hey, know my niggas got my back, that shit especially. And that was way before I started doing melodies. Told my IP, catch me slipping, just gon' do me in. Cause the phone care for him, why would he care for me? That shit got me moving, sliding carefully. Too many times I could've died, but you was there for me. I'ma say I'm getting old next year, I'm 23. And I feel like LeBron, but I won't leave my here. And anybody feeling pain, I know they feeling me. Across the game for a little change, can't call you family. Like, what the fuck is you can to me? You know it's bad when your friends turn to your enemies. You know it's bad when they crush it out just for Tennessee. You know it's bad. I know a killer, he take Perkins and take Hennessy for a drill. Feeling lonely.
Hey, man. Shout out to Benzo, and shout out to my guy, man, platinum selling artist, Vord.
That's lit. I was like, I got to get on that. Put me on the remix.
Yeah. So first off, we'll just start from the beginning, man, and work our way up. So first off, just tell the people where you from and how old are you?
Well, my name is DJ the Singer, originally from Athens, Georgia. I've been in Atlanta roughly 12 years. We came here for a record deal. And I'm a singer, as you said earlier, singer-songwriter. I'm on the cast of a YouTube reality series called On the Way Up Atlanta. And just making my way through Atlanta, this thing called the music industry. And trying to make something out of nothing.
Absolutely, man. Everybody start from somewhere. So when you hear your hometown, man, when you hear the A, man, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
When I hear of Athens, I think the Georgia Bulldogs. That's the first thing that comes to mind, Georgia Bulldogs. Um, that's all I know. I'm trying to think. What else? I think of REM, the band REM is from there. I think Bubba Sparks, he's from Athens. So those are just a few things that come to mind.
Okay. So for anybody that never been to Athens, I'm gonna take it back to your childhood.
Okay.
Just kind of describe how it was growing up in Athens, an everyday, African American kid. Some of the struggles and things you have to endure as a child, a teenager, and two-parent household, siblings, things like that.
I came up in a two-parent household. My mom was a school teacher, turned assistant principal. My father worked for the university, and he was a deacon turned preacher. And my parents were very strict. I had a wonderful childhood. I didn't have anything necessarily traumatic, but I lived a pretty normal childhood. I was in church a lot. Church was the centerfold of everything, and so it was Bible study on Tuesday, choir rehearsal Wednesday, Saturday, and you're in church on Sunday. On occasion, you have an afternoon program. My father was more secular, my mom was more church. So I kind of got best of both worlds.
Okay. So you just had a normal childhood,
Yeah,
stable
I,
household, things like that.
yeah, just my brother and I. I was more invested in music. That was my thing. That was my go-to. That was my escape. And I would I remember as a child, I would write my parents letters because I felt like they never listened to me. So that's where my love for songwriting came from. That was my means of communication. If I couldn't say anything else verbally, or if I couldn't find the words verbally, I could definitely write it down.
Okay. So I know you say you got into songwriting early as a kid. Besides that, was you into any other activities as a kid? Did you play sports, choir, anything like that?
Oh, I was in every choir you could probably think of. I was in the band and in the orchestra. I danced a little bit. I did take acting classes. I took modeling classes, but I was not athletic at all. I wish I had though. Because now I can't stay out of the gym. But no, I wasn't athletic at all. And I mean, I did like I said, normal kid stuff. I was at the park with my friends. I was, we would meet up in the middle of the street and ride bikes up and down the block. Before you know it, you've been all over downtown. What else? Skating rink, that type of stuff. Meet up at Dairy Queen on a Friday. That was the vibe. So I lived a pretty fun childhood. These kids these days don't know what fun is. I never thought I'd be the one to say that, but they don't know what fun is.
Yeah, man, I remember those nights, man, when I was in middle school in Alabama, where I'm from. They used to have the dollar skate nights, and yeah, it was pressure on you when you got around your cousins because everybody knew how to skate. So I ain't
They
no
knew how
skates.
to skate.
So you had to learn how to skate because everybody used to go there on Saturdays and the $2 a nights on during the week. So
You had to know how to skate because if not, they were gonna clown you. They were
yeah,
gonna. I don't skate anymore now. I'm too afraid that I'll fall and bust my ass. But
yeah, I feel
you,
that. So as far as the music business and you know, reality TV, acting, things like that. Did you have anyone in your family or in your close circle that was involved in those businesses, or are you the first one to go down that route?
so I have cousins in that business. Believe it or not, Gorilla Zoe is my cousin. I also am related to Ashley L, who was on College Hill, Atlanta. She's recently been in the news for having a kid with Lucky Day, but um, she is my cousin. And other than that, I'm sure I've had some other family members in the business go down that path. But for me, I think I'm the one more recently that's been just hitting it hard and really trying to make it the career path or make it the thing where I don't have to have a 9 to 5.
No, absolutely. So what would you say is that one thing that really led you to doing music?
The one thing that really led me to doing my own music, I always wanted to sing. That was my thing as a child. I always wanted to sing. Whenever anyone would ask me what I was gonna do when I became an adult, it was always I'm gonna be a singer first. And they were just like, "You need something realistic," and I was like, "Well, it's real to me." Uh, so that was my thing. But even now, I think my reasoning is still the same. Um, I was in a bad relationship and I didn't have an outlet. I didn't know what therapy was at that time. And I didn't feel comfortable talking to my family about it. Didn't feel comfortable talking to my family about it. Didn't feel comfortable talking to my friends about it because your friends will always tell you you don't need to, y'all don't need to be together because of whatever. Like those are your friends. They're gonna tell you the truth. If they're your real friends, they'll tell you the truth. And yeah, that's how I started. That's how I started. And I think because even though I'm not in a bad relationship now, um, I think there are so many people that are in them. And I think my music helps those people. Well, I know my music helps those people based on what I've been told. But even if I'm not singing from the perspective of someone in a bad relationship, it's real life, the things that I sing about. And I'm never going to sing about something that I can't relate to. And my thing is, I always want to be authentic, and I always want to make sure that whatever it is I'm singing about translates to who's listening. And so I think those things, if maintained, those things can definitely or those things are the things that draw in a certain audience and captivate and hold a certain audience.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So who were some of your favorite music artists growing up? Who did you like listening to?
I loved everybody. Honestly, I really did. It was like everything that came in my ears was like, ah. But I really loved Parliament, George Clinton, Bootsy Collins, that whole thing. It was an era by itself. I really enjoyed Mary J. Blige, and Mariah Carey, and Whitney Houston. Um, but I also loved Luther. Still do love Luther. Luther could do things with his voice that no other male artist could. Um, and I love Stevie. Stevie was another favorite of mine.
That's what's up. So as far as your artist name, is DJ's part of your real name, or where does your artist name come from?
So I actually did radio for 6 years. I have a background in radio, and they never called me. I went through a few different phases and a few different names on the radio, but they never called me DJ anything. It was always DJ, come do this. Hey DJ, come down the hall. Whatever, that type of stuff. Or DJ, clear the hall. Those things. So it just kind of stuck. I had a dream and I saw my face on an album. It was my album the day before my album was supposed to come out. I was in Times Square and had this dream, was standing there, saw my album cover, and it just kind of took and stuck. And we ran from there.
Absolutely. So
So that's what he does.
so take me back to that time when you first went to a recording studio and recorded for the first time. Was it kind of easy for you to pick up, or was it kind of a rough patch at first?
So the first time I went and recorded a song, I remember the song. It's actually on YouTube. Do not go pull it up. It's trash. No, I'm kidding. But the song is called Karma, and I did it over Monica's So Gone, the instrumental. And it was real basic. It was a real basic 1-2. I don't even remember the person that I was singing about. I just remember just being really upset about it. And now that I think about it, I do remember who I wrote it about, and that person, we love everybody. But I just remember I was just in a really bad place. I was in a really bad place, and I was just like, what you do is gonna come back on you. What goes around comes back around. You can't just shit on good people. So that was the gist of the song. But the song was called Karma. Woo woo woo. It's on YouTube. You don't have to go pull it up. But first time, like I said, it came natural to me, but I've learned a lot. We'll just say that. A lot of the earlier recordings are just that, early recordings, and they're rough. They're early and they're rough, but you definitely hear the growth over time. But I my first time, it came natural. I was afraid, but I was also a lot more open to experimenting. Everything didn't have to be in a set formula. Everything didn't have to be so perfect. And at that time, we still got real vocals, so I was really kind of able to do things and try things and experiment with different tones and stuff. Whereas now, everything and everybody is really laid back and subdued, and so just trying to come through that. Even at that time, even though it was fun, it was still, to some extent, it was still new territory.
Okay. So as far as your recording process, are you more of a writer, or do you punch in, or how does that go?
So my process is very simple. If I hear something that I like, I'm horrible at writing in the studio. I cannot. I mean, I can, but I like to think about my stuff before I put it out, and I'm very meticulous. So while I can write in the studio, there's a song on my album called Thinking with My Head, and I wrote that in the session. But I typically write at home, and my process is very simple. Like I said, I'll typically have a glass of wine or some Kool-Aid or something, and I'm chilling out, and I'll just vibe with it. Sometimes a song can come to me, and I can complete it within 25 to 30 minutes if I'm really in it. Um, or you can have a situation like what I'm having right now, where you've written 5 different versions of one song, and all 5 different versions have different storylines, and it's like You're trying to pull from one to put with another one to see if it flows, and sometimes it just doesn't work. But once I have the skeleton of what I want, I'll go in the studio with it and I'll lay it down. And I'll lay it down, I'll do a draft, I'll ride around with it for a few weeks, and then I'll make my notes. In those few weeks, I'll go back and I'll add in and take out. And typically within that time frame, I have what I want.
Okay. So what would you say was the point in your life when you really had the confidence to know you could pursue music?
When I was grown. When I was grown, when I was growing up, that was if you remember the scene in Sister Act 2 where Cheryl Lee Ralph says to Lauryn Hill, singing does not pay the bills. Singing does not put food on the table. Singing is no guarantee to a future, even if you have talent. That was my real life. And that's what I lived. And so I didn't believe that I could until I was grown. And just seeing people react to the songs that I was writing at that time, that gave me the confidence and the insight and the know-how, and the desire to even want to learn the business so that I could do music full time.
Absolutely. So as far as your music situation, are you independent or you got a distribution deal or how's that thing?
No, I'm solely independent. I am currently looking at options, but as of right now, I'm solely independent, and I like it that way. I like it that way. I don't have to. There's not necessarily a middleman. I don't have anybody telling me what I can and cannot sing about. It gets in the way of the art, if you ask me.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I can see that perspective. Would you sign to a major if it made sense?
If it made sense, and if it was to my benefit, then yes.
Okay. So
Yeah, but it would have to be to my benefit.
yeah, gotta make sense, man. So
It's, it's got to make sense, and it's got to make sense.
so as far as I know for any artist when you put music out publicly for the first time, that could be a very big deal because you know you had all your friends and family listen to it, but it's different when people that you don't know get to hear it for that first time. So when you dropped your first project, just take me back to that time. How was the city embracing you when it was able to hear your music for the first time?
So when I put out my very first project, there were a few things happening at that time. I was signed to an independent label, if that's what we're gonna call that, and it just wasn't a good time. It wasn't a good time. I wasn't getting any funding. I wasn't getting any push. I wasn't getting any looks. And so that first project, while I wrote maybe 50% of it, give or take, um, it just wasn't it wasn't 100% me. Like I said, I didn't have any label support. I didn't have anything. So that was 100%. It was just something to put music out. And I feel like had I been more strategic in the very beginning, I might have had a better turnout. Um, was I nervous? Yes, because like I said, being a preacher's kid, you're held to a certain standard, and I don't think, because people knew me as a church boy, they knew me as the church kid, the one that was, you would call me to sing at your granddaddy's funeral, you would call me to do revival, you would call me, for the youth summit, those were the things, that they knew me for. They didn't know me for doing R&B. They didn't know me, for singing songs about smoking weed and fucking in the woods and telling, my ex, if you want to be single, go do that, or the said person at the time, if you want to be single, go do that, So I think it was a shock to some, to others. I think it might have been what is he doing? Some people, I don't think they cared. I don't think they cared. Some people might have thought I was just doing it just for fun. But I was serious about that thing. And I want to say maybe 6 months after that mixtape, I came out with a full project, which I actually want to take some of the songs and redo them because I really see the potential. I was onto something at that time. I was really onto something. And so lately I've been trying to get back to that space of creation. It was a lot more free. It wasn't as structured as it is now.
Okay, I can feel that. So, have you done any shows yet? And if so, what's the biggest show you've done so far?
I do shows all the time. But I will say or a few highlights that I've had. I've been an opener for Case. I've opened for B Slade, who the majority of us know as the gospel singer Tone. I've also opened for Selena Johnson. I have done things with K Michelle, SWV, just to name a few. So those are some highlights in my performance resume.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty dope. So
Thank
as
you.
far as the music scene, everybody in Georgia knows about the music scene in Atlanta, but I never heard about Athens. So describe
Yeah.
the music scene in Athens and describe some of the artists around there. Do they collab or how does that go? You know, everybody mind their business, you know.
So I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't really like. I know maybe one or two artists in Athens now, but when I was doing music in Athens, like it was a whole thing. It was a whole underground thing, and I really hate that a lot of people missed out on it. You had Young Bean, you had like the Migos are from Athens, believe it or not. Who else? Cassie Chantel, she goes by I think she goes by Cash Chantel now. But who else was around at that time? You had Impact Records, you had oh God, I can't even call everybody. RDS, Lil Red, gosh, you're taking me back. Dictator, Ant the Ruler, yeah, Elite the Showstopper, those people. And so it was a whole movement at that time. It was a whole movement at that time, and I felt like because of what I did, I was one of how many male singers that did R&B for real, like who really for real could sing, like not your local hood boy that just whose name is Joe and he can just so happen to carry one or two notes or whatever, and he ends up being the Nate Dogg on the record. No shade to Nate Dogg, but I'm just saying like not that dude, but I'm talking about like the dudes who really could just flat foot sing. It was very few, and I just felt like I stood out at that time just because that's what I did. I sang about real things. I wasn't out here pretending like I was in love and I wasn't.
Well, the thing is too, I'm glad that you in the genre of music because I come across a lot of hip hop artists. I probably only you probably the second or third R&B artist or different kind of artist, a different genre. And now we got the OGs that still doing a thing like Mary J's, the Isley Brothers, New Edition, all them people, but they getting old now, and it's like the R&B it's kind of died down. If you are talking about Chris Brown or
Yeah.
whenever Drake want to get in the mood and do some R&B stuff, we really ain't got no R&B artists like that. Like, so I feel like in the next 10 years, like how hip hop don't took off in all these different cities, I feel like
Mm-hmm.
R&B got to have a little run at some point where a lot of artists start emerging from these different places around the country and start making a name for themselves because it's been kind of dead for a while as far as not as far as like us being able to listen to R&B music, but just new people coming on the scene as far as because we keep seeing the same people just they'll take a break and they'll start back putting out music again. You know what I'm saying? So
I would love to see a renaissance, not just for R&B, but for real R&B musicians. I mean, and that's no disrespect to anybody that's out now, but these new people that are doing R&B, if you put them next to, I don't even care if we're talking current day Mariah Carey. I mean, would easily sing them under a bus. It's not music anymore. They're not singing anymore. You know, it's cute. It's cute, but I'm not gonna, there's certain songs that I'm just, so do you remember, like, there was that era of music, like, we'll even, like, I'll just take you back, we'll just go to '05, like '04, '05, and like, you remember, like, you literally could cut on the radio and it was like Mariah Carey's "We Belong Together," it was "Burn" by Usher, it was "Be Without You" by Mary J. Blige, it was, what was out, like, I think Keisha Cole had like maybe 2 songs on the radio at the time, like, it was a thing, and like, you really felt the music. I don't feel the music now. That's what I miss about R&B. If we're just gonna be honest, that's what I miss about R&B. I miss the feeling in it.
I think now everybody's so quick to put out a trend, and once they get a following and get some money, that that they miss the origins of real, even in hip hop now, like and music in general. People connected with the legends like Tupac, Biggie, the Mary J's, Mariah Carey's, Ashanti's, and things like that, because not because they was talented, because everybody has talent now. It's just because they made themselves vulnerable enough to where you felt it in your spirit. Like I tell people all the time, like if I listen to a song, especially an R&B song, if I don't feel it in the first 30 seconds to a minute that the song been on, then it ain't for me. Like
Yep.
certain, like when you hear somebody's voice, you can tell if it's authentic or not, because you can't fake that energy. You
You
know.
cannot fake it, and that's one thing that I just miss about R&B. I miss the authenticity in it. I miss the honesty in the music. Even for me, I get a lot of flack for being too emotional, so to speak, in my music. I had a meeting with a manager, and he was just like, "Your music's good, but you're too emotional. How can I market that? And you're a male singer. It doesn't make sense." And I'm like, "We're in hell now." Like, because literally, so you're basically telling me I have to put out music that I can't feel and nobody else can either. That hell, we are in hell. Like, there is, if you can't feel it, what are you doing it for? What are you doing it for? You're doing yourself a disservice. You're doing your craft or the craft a disservice.
Absolutely. So, what's some artists you work with so far, and what's some artists you want to work with in the future?
Okay, so independently, I really do not do too many. I don't do a lot of features, to be totally honest. I want to do more. So I'm glad you brought that up. I have a record on all platforms called "Fuck Nigga" with Sammy Austin. It was intended to be the lead single off of our project, but I just put it out for the fans. Like I said, it's a different vibe for me artistically. Um, I also have a record. I brought it up earlier, but it's called "Thinking with My Head." It's with a rapper out of Atlanta, Retro Haiti. The record is called "Thinking with My Head." You guys will hear that very soon. And as of right now, off the top of my head, that's all I can think of. I have some stuff coming. There's a record that we redid. Now that I think about it, I did with a couple of my cast members on this season of "On the Way Up Atlanta," and you guys will hear that later on in the season.
Okay. So, what would you say is your most successful project so far?
Ooh, my most successful project so far, it would definitely be this record called Colors. It was a 10-track EP. I put it out in 2013, and 2013 was a great era also because that was the era literally everybody had a mixtape. Like, you could go on Nat Piff, Concrete Loop, the Singer's Room, Boss Up, and just download a mixtape and be good to roll. That was when everybody was giving out free music. But anyway, I think that attributed to the success of it. It was free, and creatively, I was just I was in a different place creatively. I was living out loud in every form and fashion of the word. Um, it was a very colorful time, and that was my most successful one. That record got over 50,000 downloads on one of those websites. But I have the record, but 50,000 downloads of that one mixtape. That mixtape got a lot of attention.
Okay, that's what's up. So we're gonna transition out of the music film, and we're gonna go to the reality TV show on the way up Atlanta. So we're gonna start from the beginning. Um, Being in any type of acting, whether it's a TV show or
Mm-hmm.
the movie, from the outside looking in, me observing, people working in that realm can be very stressful because you have to master certain roles, and you can be get consumed with the character at times, not being able to turn it on and off as far as like, navigating through your personal life and things like that. So we can start from the beginning, kind of tell me how how did it come about, and also, what time frame it was when it came about, because obviously you was already doing music at the time. So when did that come about that you thought about getting into that type of area of work?
So with my film resume, I've done some extra work. You may see me in a background or two, on an episode or two or three of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. In addition to that, I also did a scripted series. It was never released. We were literally at the door of Netflix, and it just never happened. But the series is called Planet Venus. It was a comedy. You guys would have loved it. But how I got into reality, I've always wanted to do a reality show. I started vlogging during the pandemic, and I was on my way to Dallas, Texas, and I was in the car, and the producer of the show called me and was like, "Hey, how do you feel about doing this season of On the Way Up Atlanta?" And I was like, let's do it. With this particular series, I did a few cameo spots season 1 and season 2. But season 3, they decided to bring me on as a full-time cast member. And I love it. I loved it. The experience of a camera following you and getting intimate moments of your day-to-day, I absolutely loved it. I think the part that's most annoying more than anything is when people are able to create their own narrative about a situation that they only got a 5-minute peek into. It's like, you weren't even there. Like, how are you gonna tell me what kind of friend I am? How are you gonna tell me I'm annoying? And you're watching 5 minutes of a 45-minute conversation. Please get your life. So, but I love it.
I would say, in those type of situations, that people that do that, I would take it as a positive thing, because you know you know that they don't know the real thing, but they're keeping up with it because it's something that they obviously enjoy looking at or taking the time out to watch in their spare time. So, I wouldn't get too down about people like that, because I'm like, shoot, obviously they're supporting and they like what they see, so they just throwing bait out there. You know what I'm saying?
I don't pay these internet thugs any attention. These are homeless kids that live in someone's basement and watch hamster porn. And I pray for people like that. They're just miserable, and they get online and they say all kinds of mean things about you. But the truth of the matter is, you love me, and you're still gonna come back and see me next week. So you're a fan. You're a fan. That's how you have to handle those people.
So when they approached you about the show, how many seasons were they in? Were they or and did you come in on the second season, or?
They were gearing up for season 3. Season 3 is currently right now. We are literally at the beginning of the season. We are 3 episodes in, coming up on 4. And I had cameos on season 1. They brought me on, literally, they met me at a birthday dinner. I was at a separate birthday dinner, but they were taping a birthday dinner. And they needed somebody to sing happy birthday. And because I'm the king of everything musical, no, I'm kidding. But because I was like, oh, I can sing, I went and sang happy birthday. And that is how I met production initially. For season 2, well, no, I take that back. I was supposed to come on at the very end of season 1. But because they thought I was too much like another cast member, they were just like, we're just gonna wait it out. Season 2, you had me on. I was working in the studio with another cast member, and after that, they were just like, let's see what season 3 is giving. So season 3 came around at the right time. I was in the studio. I was maybe halfway or 3/4 of the way through my album, and I was just like, this would be perfect for them to get. This footage would be perfect for them to get.
Okay. So, anything that you get into is an adjustment. So when you first get into this area of work, what's something that caught you off guard that you wasn't expecting when you started doing this consistently with the reality TV?
Was something that caught me off guard. A couple of things, how vulnerable I was, and how open I was to share, because I'm very private. I don't like to let people in. I just feel like when you let people get a little too close to you, they hurt you. So I'm very private, very guarded, but outside of my vulnerability, I was taken aback at how easy it was for me to give emotion. There's a very intimate scene where I go see my father's grave I go visit his grave for the first time since he passed. And just how vulnerable I was during that particular scene. Y'all really see a different side of me. Y'all see me crying and just snot everywhere. It's really emotional, but it really is just very telling of who I am as an individual. I care a lot, and I'm very in tune with my feelings. I'm very in tune with my feelings and very big on vibes and energy. I pick up on things. So y'all will really get to get into who I am as a person. Y'all know DJ the singer. Y'all don't know Melvin. Those are two totally different people.
Absolutely. So for anybody that never seen the TV show before and they stumble across it, in your own words, just describe like what's the goal of the show? What are y'all trying to put out to the people? What's the purpose, of putting things out, the episodes and things like that?
So basically the show is about 8 different individuals and just our different journeys in our own individual fields. That's pretty much the gist of the show. You're going to see everybody working in their respective field, just trying to get to their own or reaching their own personal goals while we all reach a common goal as a group. And like I said, you see the ups, downs, drama, and all therein. And it's a ride. It's an emotional ride, but it definitely will keep your attention, if nothing else. And definitely keep you on your toes for the next episode. At least I've been as a fan first.
Okay. So as far as like the longevity of it, how long do y'all expect to keep the show going?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I personally would love to see the show run on forever and ever. But all good things must come to an end. And I'm gonna be totally honest. That would be a question that would be more so for production. Because if it was left up to them, I'm sure this would be the last season. But I think this season's too good. I think this season is too good for them not to do additional seasons afterwards. I always say that season 1 was the appetizer, season 2 was the pre-show, and this is the main event. And not just because I'm on it, but because I'm on it. So it's a pretty lit season.
Okay. So I know that when I had talked to you earlier, before we did the interview and things like that, you were saying that you're trying to get picked. You guys are trying to get picked up by a network as far as things like that. So have y'all how's that process been going? Have people have been reaching out to y'all production team and things like that, or y'all just focus on we just gonna keep building a platform to the point where somebody gonna have to come see us eventually?
As far as I know, nobody has said anything. But at the same time, I also know that as a independent company, for lack of better words, we're still building. And I say we, just us as a cast and production as a whole. We're still building. And so, maybe right now may not be the time. I wouldn't be opposed if a network did pick the show up. I do think, there's always, there are always areas for improvement in any capacity. So we can bring it to a bigger audience, and take it to the next level. About why not? Whoever send them our way.
So what's the feedback have you been getting on the show? Like how people been reacting to it, especially since you're on it full time now and not just popping in and out like how you were before?
As overall, the response has been very positive. For me individually, I think people see me as the comedic relief. They also see me as the real individual. But I can tell you, our show 100% is not scripted. I wish it was in certain capacities, but there's nothing scripted about our show. Everything that happened is exactly how it happened. And it's just raw. If you enjoyed, shows like The Real World, even The Flavor of Love, this is right in that vein. It's very raw and very real. And ultimately you really get to see the real behind, these people's lives. Like I said, for me, they see me as the comedic relief. I'm just to the point, and I just live my life with the mistakes, the ups, the downs, and all of it. I give it to you. I give it to you just how it is. I don't know any other way.
Oh yeah. Yeah, reality TV, I like reality TV. I got into love and hip hop a couple years ago. And my whole thing, some of my buddies and stuff, they be like, man, why you watching that stuff? And I be like, man, I love looking at drama that ain't got nothing to do with me. So
Get your share of drama on our show. This season was a lot, and I was there for a good bit of it. But it was a lot. But you're really gonna see, you're gonna see a lot this season. I'll just tell you, there is an altercation on the next episode for the first time in On the Way Up Atlanta history, and it wasn't me. But I felt a way. I felt some type of way. I thought I started it, but production said I didn't. So cool. I'm in the clear. But you just have to watch it. You have to go, if you haven't seen it, you have to go back to episode 1 and just see how we got here. It'll make a lot more sense.
Okay. Yeah, man. So like as far as the show and things like that and your role in the show, are you comfortable with the roles that you're being asked to play? Like, is it something that come natural to you, or is it just something that you just doing until you can find something that better fits you?
So because this is reality TV. This is my real life. This is my real life, and what you see is what you get. So I know some people came in front of this camera perpetrating and pretending, but I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to be anything else or give you anything else other than me. So, like I said, some stuff I may say, it may come across improper or shady to y'all, but this is how I carry in my day to day. So,
Okay. Oh,
I'm very comfortable, very, very comfortable. Sometimes I thought I was a little too comfortable in front of that camera.
So, as far as the first 3 seasons, are y'all keeping the same cast? Are y'all dropping people? And also, do y'all plan on doing reunions like similar to other shows where y'all bring people back and y'all be in one area, or how y'all gonna go about doing that?
So they've done reunions for the last 2 seasons. This season, yes, there will be a reunion, contrary to popular belief. There will be a reunion, and I don't know what the theme is. I don't know anything about this reunion, and probably won't know anything until maybe 2 or 3 weeks beforehand. But as far as this cast, this is the most diverse from the other 2. Let's see, season 1 was, you had your 6, I believe. Season 2, I want to say doubled to 12 people. And then this season, we have a whole new cast. You only have maybe 2. You have 2 members from season 2 and then 1 from the original cast. that's left over this season. Everybody else is new, so you're having to learn new people, more or the most new people in season 3.
Man, that's crazy that you only have one person from when it started. That's a lot of turnover rate. Is it because they
And
want new faces, or is it because people just didn't work out? Because I would have to imagine that, the people that started at the beginning, and people that started following the show at the beginning got attached to certain people. So
mm-hmm.
I don't know if they plan to bring those people back, or they just done.
For some people, I know there's a girl that was on season 1. I know she moved away. She moved away, had a baby. She lives a whole new life. And I don't know if she wants to be a part of reality more. I know some people left for their own mental health. And then you have others that left for other reasons. Everybody's reasoning was valid, but some people just fell out of love with reality TV.
Oh yeah.
You have to have thick skin to do reality TV. I'm learning that. I thought my skin was thick, but it is. But in certain areas, it's a little tender, because some of these people, they can say these people can say some stuff, and you just have to be secure in who you are, and you have to be comfortable in just living your life, because these people will say anything. These people will say anything. They'll pull up old stuff, trying to ruin your current. It's a lot. So you have to have tough skin to do reality.
Yeah, that's why I admire people that do any type of reality TV, because to have people come inside your life, and you putting your personal business out for everybody to see on big platforms, and people judging you in the comment sections, everybody following is getting bigger on Instagram and whatever other social medias they have, and it almost forces you to go back to how life was in the early 2000s, where we didn't
Mhm.
have social media. Like you gotta have a real balance, because I'm
That
pretty sure that
time
people that's on
had to
reality.
be. And I was saying that was a time you had to be there.
Yeah, because you had to have a balance, to where I'm pretty sure you probably do this, where you get so consumed mentally with the show that you might have to take a social media detox for about a couple of days. Be like, I'm not looking at none of this stuff for a couple of days. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
it can be a lot. It can be a lot. Like I said, especially that episode 2 was hard for me. I was holding my friend accountable for something he did, and the people in the comments were like, "Oh, you're a trashy friend, and you're annoying me." And is he gonna be the reason for your storyline? And I was like, how is he gonna be the reason for my storyline? And I'm the star. Please stop. Like, no, he's not gonna be, he's not even part of my storyline. If anything, I was a supporter for his. But yeah, so you in order to do reality, you have to really have thick skin, and just know who you are. Be secure in who you are. Be secure. If you say something, stand on it. If you do something, stand on it, and make sure your reasoning behind it is valid. Because at that reunion, that's probably going to be the first thing that they're going to talk about. Um, just like I said, the scene from episode 2, I know that's going to be a topic of conversation at the reunion, because it was a big moment for everybody in said comments. So
Yeah. So three things, and then we'll go into wrapping up the interview about the TV show. So
okay,
just list some pros and cons to reality TV for anybody that's looking to get involved in this type of work, and just list some advice that you would give somebody that you learned on your journey, as far as, as you started doing it more. And also just some last remarks on the show, what you want people to know about the show, as far as like what y'all have going on now, and what's to come in the future, and things like that.
okay. Oh, that's the question. Okay, so pros and cons of reality TV. Pros. First of all, this interview, thank you for having me. You get to talk to people from all over, people who've never known you. They don't know your face, they don't know your name, they don't know anything about you. You also get to expand your fan base. You get to expand to people who probably would have never gotten an opportunity to experience you otherwise. Just telling your story. You never know who you're inspiring. You never know who's looking at you. Another pro, the opportunities. You never know what opportunities will come from reality TV. People think of reality TV as one thing and that's it. But you have to live beyond that moment, and you have to also think of what's next, because that season is eventually going to come to an end. At some point, someone else is going to take your time slot. So what's next? Cons, like I said, the untamed humans living in the basement that watch hamster porn, they're gonna attack you. They're gonna say any and everything. You're fat, you're ugly, you look like you stink. They're gonna say it all, and you have to have thick skin. Another con, expect the unexpected. That can either be a pro, but that could also be a con, because like I said, our show isn't scripted at all. You walk into a situation, like I said, next episode, you walk into a situation, you think you're about to have a competitive night of bowling, and next thing you know, your hands and a bowling ball never come in contact because there's a huge fight that happens. And yeah, so expect the unexpected. Expect for your emotions to be up and down. You're going to have your good days, you're going to have your bad days, and that camera is going to keep on rolling. So I would say that's another con. But also another con that I could think of just off top. I said it before. You have to live beyond reality TV. You have to live beyond reality TV, but you also have to consider other people other than you. Yes, you're the star on the show, but think about who you represent. Think about your family, think about your friends. If you do work a job that pays you a nice salary, or you get a nice paycheck every couple weeks, just remember, this is a YouTube series. This is not, something where we're contracted by a network or anything of the sort where I have guaranteed income. Just remember your life in that moment. So if you're considering doing YouTube reality, these are a couple things that you just want to keep in mind. Our show, like I said, is 100% real. It's not scripted. The show is called On the Way Up Atlanta. It comes on every Wednesday night on YouTube at 9 p.m. You don't want to miss it, because I'm going to be on your screen. So you don't want to miss it. I also have a brand new single out right now called Masturbation. It is on all streaming platforms. It's a song about self-love. We don't talk about it enough. If you don't know how to please you, nobody else will, and you damn sure can't teach nobody else. So whenever you can, touch yourself, love yourself, go get yourself an ice cream cone thereafter. But yes, that's what we have going on. New episode next week. You guys will have episode 4. And it's gonna be an event. It's gonna be an event. They talk about that all the time in the comments. They're just like, y'all keep using that word event. Well, it was an organized thing, so it's an event. So, but yes, I appreciate you for having me here, not just to talk about the show, but also talk about the new music and everything else therein.
Oh yeah. So for all your fans out there, just explain some things you like doing in your spare time when you're not doing a show or doing music.
I sleep. When I am not doing music, I am sleeping. When I am not doing music, I'm at the gym, I'm eating, I am on the phone, just bullshitting and using my time and not in a responsible way. I'm with my family and with my friends. I live a very simple life. I do not go out at all. I said I was gonna go out more this year. I'm gonna go out more this year. I'm gonna keep that camera rolling and take more pictures. But yeah, my life is very simple outside of music. That's what I do.
Okay. So short and long term goals. List your short and long term goals as far as your music career and acting film career?
Short-term goals. I have an album that's coming out this year, and I'm really excited to finally give it to y'all. I've been working on it for a very long time, and I just wanted to make sure it was right. So y'all will have that later on this year. I'm also going on tour this year as a background vocalist. I can't say for who, but I am going on tour this year as a background vocalist for a very well-known singer. Um, what else? Acting, short term. Like I said, we're gonna finish this season. I do hope to get into more reality. But even if I do another scripted series, I would love to do another scripted series. That would be so much fun. And long-term goals, I want to be able to, if I could have my own cult of fans, who regardless of what I put out, they're gonna support it. I don't have to be signed to a major label. If I'm able to support myself, and support my family and go on vacation every single week if I want to, that's the goal. I think that's the goal, to just to overall have a soft life. Have a soft life, stress-free, but doing what I love, which is the music and film. I want to get married, maybe a kid, maybe a dog, but I definitely I see a soft, stress-free life.
Absolutely. So I know you list some things that you got coming up for this year, but do you have anything else you can think of for 2023 that you got coming up?
You know what? The opportunities are endless. To be totally honest, there's some things I want to do. I've written them down and they're in my diary, but there's some things I want to do. I definitely want to do a live show. I want to get back in the studio and record something new. I've been itching to do that. So those are just a few things.
Okay. So how do you want people to perceive you?
I want people to see me as the artist that says what other people are not saying, but it's able to translate and they're able to relate. I want people to perceive me as the guy next door. I'm very approachable. I want people to perceive me as the artist that they never know what they're gonna get. You never know if you're gonna you never know what you're gonna get. You may come to my show and think I'm just gonna do the album cuts, but then you end up getting a whole throwback 80s and 90s mashup. I don't know, for 20 minutes. I don't know. Like you never know what you're gonna get. But I'm a person first. I'm a person first, and I try to keep that in my music. I try to keep that level of transparency in my music and just let people know, hey, I'm a person too. Yes, I'm a man, but I go through stuff. Yes, your ex is trash, so is mine. We can relate. We can do lunch, but I definitely want people to basically just come to me. Like how everybody goes to Mary J. Blige whenever they need a song they can relate to. Come to me. I got you.
Absolutely. So since you in two different fields, so we're gonna do two different Mount Rushmore. So
Oh, okay.
so give me your top five for your R&B, and then give me your top five for whether it could be reality TV or acting or things like that.
Ooh, okay. So R&B, Whitney,
Right.
Mariah, Brian McKnight, Luther, Mary.
Okay.
Oh, and then let me also say, because I'm a music head and I listen to everybody, there are some people that I did not put on that list. So I'm just gonna say everybody else is under that list. They can all stay at number 5. We'll just have a list of 5s. But as far as my favorite actors, love Denzel. I love Forrest Whitaker. I love Will Smith. I love I love Regina Hall. I love Regina Hall, and I love. Gosh, this is hard. Okay, we'll just say Nia Long. We'll say Nia Long. It's so hard. And then everybody else underneath that. So we have a list of fives too. So there you go. It's so hard. It was really challenging for me. Because there's so many people that I look at that I pull inspiration from. So I couldn't just pick just one.
Oh yeah, absolutely. As far as me personally, my R&B top five, I would have to say, I mean, I know he's going through some crazy stuff right now, but take away from him as an artist, R. Kelly, you know.
Okay.
But I like R. Kelly music. I like Usher. Um, let me see. I like Ashanti. That's someone that they really got to me.
Shanti's cool.
I like Beyonce too, but just some of her singles. One of my favorite songs is by Beyonce. Me, Myself, and I. That's one of my favorite songs.
I remember when that song came out, I was in chorus, and it was the first time I ever heard it. I was like, oh my God, I got to hear that again. And at the time, it wasn't like it is now where we had like Spotify and Apple Music. Like at that time, you had iTunes, and I think you had to go to the actual website to stream it, and you could only stream like 10 seconds of it. YouTube wasn't even a thing then. So like it was so like you to see the video, you had to wait for them to put the video on. Or if you wanted to hear the song in full, you had to go buy the album or the single. That was like the last real era in music.
Right. So
There. You had to be there.
absolutely. So closing remarks, man. Anything else you want to tell the people as far as what you got going with music and the show On the Way Up Atlanta, and let people know how they can find you on social media and also find the show on social media and things like that.
Well, like I said earlier, you definitely will see me every single week on every single episode of this season of On the Way Up Atlanta. It comes on YouTube every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Also, like I said, I have new music. My single Masturbation is out right now on all streaming platforms. You can hear it anywhere. My album, My Life a Soul Without a Heart, will be out later on this year. And like I said, I'm open to the further opportunities or the future opportunities that are not only going to come from this show, but just from other entities as well. We're going to put that out there into the atmosphere. But you can find me on all streaming or on all social media under the name DJ. That's DiiJai, the singer, and I will appear and connect with me. Like I said, I'm always open for new cousins. And you can slide in my DM and say, hey, I heard this interview. We're rooting for you. I'll be there.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. I appreciate you coming on the podcast, and anytime you want to come on, whether it be about the show, your music career, or real topics. I do real topics too, like child support, relationships.
Oh, listen, bring me on that relationship panel. We can talk. I can put you on. I can tell people some stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Some people they've been wanting me to do a panel on sticky topics where people just talk about just X-rated stuff. People been telling me that here in person. So
We like topics. I mean, listen, I have a song called Masturbation. It's out right now on all on all streaming platforms. Go get that. So listen, it's a conversation. I'm all for taking something that is uncomfortable and putting it in your face. Because that, I mean, other than that, there's no way that we're going to be able to normalize it. And masturbation is a real thing. We all do it. We all do it. If you don't do it, there's cause for concern. But we all do it. So, I mean, it's a thing. So I don't know why it's such a taboo thing, but masturbation, it's a word. Look it up. It's a real thing. It happens. It's a verb.
Oh yeah. Absolutely, man. And hopefully in the future, man, we probably could do a because I did a group interview about I think it's about 2 or 3 weeks ago with a whole bunch of authors. They all co-authored in a book, and I interviewed
Not
like 6 people at the same time. So maybe other people on the show or some of the producers might want to come on, get a opinion on the show, and y'all just
yes.
off each other and just talk about the current state of the show and things like that. So
Let's set that up. We can definitely have as the season progresses, like I said, you let us know when you want us to come back. We will come back. Because I'm sure at that time we'll have a lot more to discuss.
oh yeah, absolutely, man. You just gotta let me know. We can work around it. I'm free on Fridays and Saturdays, so that would be more ideal. But I could do the afternoons on any day. So
Okay, we can definitely set that up. And like I said, I'll definitely send it over by the cast and just see who's interested in coming on, and we'll do the interview. We'll make it happen.
okay, man. I appreciate the show. Appreciate you coming on the show, and I'm gonna keep up with the show, man. That's some more entertaining stuff I can watch besides love and hip hop.
Ooh, it's about to heat up. This is where it starts to get good. It was good the first 3 episodes, but it's about to get good now. So you don't want to miss it.
Oh yeah. Absolutely, man. I need everybody to go rock with DJ the Singer on all streaming platforms. Go stream his music. Go follow him on Instagram. Everybody go subscribe to his YouTube channel and also the YouTube channel for the show. On Only Way Up to Atlanta. Keep up with it. And I know everybody had their favorite shows on Netflix and Amazon and stuff that you just like to look at on a normal week, but got to normalize supporting people that we can touch. Ain't that wrong with watching something new. Because all these other shows that we watch, they got a big machine behind them, whether it be VH1 or BET or whatever you into watching. So good to support someone that's independent and just help them come up too. We always big on supporting people. They really don't need the support because we're gonna see it whether we like it or not because they got that machine behind them. So
Mm-hmm.
everybody go support the show. If you like reality TV, that's gonna definitely fit you. If you looked at all the love and hip hops and all the cities or the Real Housewives or Basketball Wives or any shows like that,
This
it's
is where you want to be. Is where you want to be because we bring it and it's real and unscripted and raw and uncut. So you don't want to.
Well, yeah, man, I appreciate you coming on the show, man. And my line's always open, man. You can hit me whenever you want to come back on, and we can set it up.
Most definitely. Thank you so much for having me. And you all have a good night.
All right, you too.
All right now.